Hello cat aspirants, welcome to another video on this beautiful channel MBA Wallah in English medium. Now, today we are going to discuss about CAT 2024 slot 1 questions that were not supposed to be done in the paper. Yes, you heard me correct. So on this very channel we have discussed about the other 11 questions of CAT 2024 slot 1, where we have discussed about those 11 questions that were supposed to be done in the round 1, that are slightly easier or of moderate difficulty level, which can be done within 2 minutes or maximum 3 minutes, requires less calculations based on those patterns which you have done in your preparation part. But today we are going to discuss about those 11 questions which were fairly new or which require some kind of tedious calculation, or maybe a certain observation which in that circumstances when you are sitting and doing the paper is difficult for a student. But yes, you should also build those kind of observations, because it's not necessary that those 11 questions which are easier you can directly reach them. Sometimes it is difficult to identify them, so we should be able to do at least few of the difficult as well. And in case we are looking for 100 percentile in quant, which I think you should if you have good mathematics, and then in that case you have to hunt for 4 to 5 difficult questions as well and ace them. So my name is Rahul Bathla and I'm a 99.95 percentile in CAT and very close to 100 percentile in CAT quant. Alright, let's go ahead. Let's start this session. The round 2 questions of CAT 2024 slot 1. Round 1 already lying on this channel. Thank you for all the lovely support you gave on that particular video. Now let's hunt the difficult questions as well and look at the approaches, because what matter is the approaches, right? Let's have a look. Again, I've distributed entire 11 questions on these 5 modules in this way: arithmetic, algebra, geometry, modern math, number system. Very similar to I would say from the past 5 years, the dominance nature of the module, right? So arithmetic the most dominating, kept at the first one. Let's go. Now, first question from the arithmetic, the difficult one. Here you go. I'm stepping aside. I want you to try it on your own before you jump to my solution. Alright guys, so I hope you have paused the video and seen or tried the question. Alright. Now the point here is I cannot go with the assumption method. In the last class, when we were talking about the easy questions, we started with an assumption method. Now why we cannot go with the assumption method? Have a look. After she sells 75 apples, 26 mangoes, specific number. Whenever we have a specific number, we cannot start with an assumption, right? Because here it's not like a part of it has been sold or a percentage of it has been sold. Whenever you have a specific number, now assuming a number totally changes the ratios, right? So here in such cases we have to start with variables. So let's begin. Fruit seller has a total of 187 fruit, another specific number consisting of apples, mangoes and oranges. Fine. So we have apples, mangoes and oranges. Fine. What's happening then? Number of apples, oranges are in the ratio of 5:2. So 5 and apple and mangoes 5:2. Remember, I have told you not to assume. I have told you to induce variables, but induce them smartly. 5:2 ratio, 5x, 2x. Fantastic. After she sells 75 apples, so 75 apples have been sold, and now you stand at 5x minus 75. Arithmetic, the art is to read the question slowly and do whatever it says. Understand the scenario. Try to visualize it. 26 mangoes sold, so 26 gone. Now you are left with 2x minus 26. And half of the oranges have been sold. And nothing is known by the oranges so far. Since half of the oranges are sold, so I'm assuming the oranges to be 2y. So if half are sold, that means y are sold, and that means we are left with y. If I would assumed this y, then this would have to be assumed as y by 2, and that is a problem for me, inducing a fraction. Y not required, better to keep it 2y. So once half is sold, half of 2y is y are sold, you're left with y. Fantastic. Now the ratio of the number of unsold apples, that is this, to unsold oranges, that is this, is a 3:2. So I have, this is 3, this is 2. Perfect. We already have one equation, right? So if you know the ratio thing, either you can go it by forming an equation, this upon this is this upon this, or have the habit, this into this equals to this into this direct. Once you have found out the ratio, this is to this is this is to this, cross multiply, easy. So 2 into this is 10x minus 150 is equals to 3 into y. That's first equation which we have already formed, and very quickly. Time for finding out second equation, and where you will find it, 187 fruits in the total. Add them up. What do you have? 7x plus 2y, right? So what we have is 7x plus 2y equals to 187. And now what you need to do is two equations, two variables, get the value of x and y, and you are done, right? Let's find out 6y from both the areas and equate it, or you can simply go ahead with the elimination method as well, whatever you like. Two equations, two variables, you know how to solve. What I am doing is creating 6y both the sides and equating. All right, I am faster in that. So if I want this 3y to be 6y, this becomes 20x minus 300. This is 6y. I know that this quantity is 6y. From here 6y will be, this has to be multiplied by 3. So this has to be multiplied by 3. 3 into 187 minus 3 into 7, 21x. Now this is also 6y. So what I have done is equated 6y, eliminated y, that's it. Again, these are some things which I have developed in years. It saves time for me. You're going to take 3y here, multiply 2, multiply 3. No, I recognized, okay, the idea is to make this 6y, make this 6y, eliminate. Why will I do it that way? If I can eliminate in my mind, 3y into 2 is 6y. This is 20x and 300 done. This multiplied by 3 is 6y. This multiplied by 3 is 21x. Goes there. 3 into 187. That's it. And now see how beautiful. 21x comes here. Becomes 41x. Fantastic. This guy goes there. This 3 into 187. This is 3 into 100. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to take 3 common. 187 plus 100. That is 287. And see the calculation. Beautiful. 41 7 x comes out to be 21. That's how I save time in calculations and do the tedious calculations easily. Going ahead with this particular two equations, eliminating, creating big numbers in case you would have multiplied this. Crazy. Make it simple. Alright. Now you have the value of x as 21. Let's finish up this scenario. What we know is this guy. This is 5x. That's 105. Right. This is 2x. That's 42. Fantastic. 105 minus 75. This guy is 30. So this guy is 20. Right? Ratio of 3 is to 2. This is 42, 26 sold. 42 minus 26. This is 16. And of course, this is 20. Half of this is 40. Every number has been found out. Let's see what he's asking. The total number of unsold fruits, 30, 40, 50, 66. 66 fruits have been unsold, and that's our answer. Done. If I would have not been explaining you this, still I could have managed to do this question which requires tedious calculation in just under 2 minutes. Alright. So that's how we do it. That's how we calculate. Smart visualization, observation. Time for you to attempt one more. I'm getting aside. Have a look at this one. Try it on your own. There's a beautiful line written over here. Let's see if you can manage to find it. Otherwise, of course, I'm there. I can help you. Alright. Assuming you have paused the video and tried it on your own. And now it's my turn. Have a look. Renu would take 15 days working 4 hours per day to complete a certain task, whereas Seema would take 8 days working 5 hours per day to complete the same task again, right? So what he's trying to tell us is the time taken by the individuals to finish the work. Let's try to identify the total number of hours. 15 days, 4 hours. I'm making it 60 hours. So that means if I talk about Renu, she takes 60 hours. Right? And now, don't make it very complicated in using the number of days, the number of hours, right? And ultimately, you'll make it confusing for yourself. Make it simple. Renu has taken 15 days, 4 hours, 60 hours in total. What about Seema? Seema would take 8 days, working 5 hours per day. So 8 into 5, that's 40 hours, right? So Seema is going to end up the work in 40 hours. And now we know the individual time. And once you know the time, you know what we are going for. We are going to assume the work, and that's going to be the LCM of these two. LCM of 60 and 40 is 120. So the work is going to be 120. We have assumed the work, time to calculate the rate, which is very simple. Work upon time. So the rate for a Reno is 2 work per hour, and for Seema is 3 work per hour. We have the rates. Congratulations, the game is half over. Now comes that line which I wanted you to observe, right? And that lies here. They decide to work together to complete the task. No, that's not the line. Read it. Seema agrees to work for double the number of hours, while Renu agrees to work for double the number of days. Fantastic. Have a look. Very careful. Listen to me very carefully. I am doing the work for double the number of days. That means I will do twice the work, or twice the number of hours I'll do the work, because the rate is different. But you are working double the number of hours. So isn't that ultimately we both are taking the same time? See, I came for double the number of days, but you work for double the number of hours. Balancing it out. I came for double the number of days, twice more time, but in an individual day, you are taking double the number of hours, balancing it out. So whether I come for 5 days and work for 2 hours, or you come for 10 days and work for 1 hour, mine also 5 into 2, 10, your also 10 into 1, 10. Ultimately the same number of hours. That's what they were trying to tell us, right? One person doubles the time using the days. Other person balances out using the number of hours. So simple. So that means the number of times Renu worked and Seema worked when they worked together is nothing but same. So rate is 2 and 3. Time for both of them is T hours, let us assume it. So Renu worked 2T, rate into time. Seema worked 3T, rate into time. And together they have finished the work, that's 120. That means 5T is 120 and T turns out to be 24. That means they are taking 24 hours each individually. Now, if both of them are taking 24 hours individually, I guess we can find out the number of days and everything. I just need one more information. Let's go and check it out. If Renu works 2 hours per day, fantastic. So if Renu works 2 hours per day, total she need to work is for 24 hours. That means she is going to work 12 days. 2 into 12, 24. Seema works double the number of hours. So she is going to work 4 hours. Have a look in the question. And she also going to take 24 hours. So the time for her is 24 by 4, that is 6 days. Fantastic. We are done. Seema takes 6 days. Just 2 lines. So that is why I made this video. So in case some of you are going for the glory, some of you are going for maybe 20 of 22 or 18 of 22. So is that even possible? Yes, it is. You have to be just a very, very fast observer. You have to be very, very fast in the tedious calculations and the smart approaches. Then you can make it. And that actually lifts off your burden of a subject which you're not good at or at average at, right? So a good question, but done in 2 to 3 lines if approached in the smart way. That is why the idea is to bring all the smart ways here, right? Time for you to attempt this one. Looks very complicated in the first look, not a straightforward question, but again, we'll see a very beautiful approach lying in this particular question. If you can observe it, great, hats off to you guys then. Try it out. Alright, so assuming you have attempted it, pausing the video. So now it's my turn to go ahead and attempt it. An amount of rupees 10,000 is deposited in bank A for a certain number of years. So we don't know the time, but we know the principal. That's 10,000. Perfect. Simple interest of 5% per annum. Right. Rate is 5%. And let us say the time is 2 years. So what is the net interest or the net earnings you have? Idea is clear. You are actually increasing your wealth by 5% every year. So 5 into T, 50 percentage is your interest. So what I'm earning is 50% in total of the principal. Percentage will take away 2 zeros. So SI earned over here is 50 into 100, that's 500T. That's what you earned over here. What's happening next? On maturity, the total amount, that means the principal as well as the interest. This has been deposited in bank B. Okay, let's take it up, put in the bank B. Now the bank B has a principal of this and this clubbed, gone here. That means 10,000 plus 500T. That's the principal for the bank B. Now bank B gives us 6%. And if the interest received from bank A, bank B in the ratio of 10 to 13, how many years you have given for bank B? 5 years, 6%, right? So rate is 6%. Time is 5 years. That means a total of 30% you're going to earn. Now here you're going to get the interest of 30% of this. Percentage takes away these 2 zeros. That means 3,000, right? 30 and 2 zeros. Percentage takes away these 2 zeros. That means 150T. That's the SI from bank B. That's the SI from bank A. The ratio from this is 10 to 13. So if this is 10, this is 13. You need to find out the T. I guess you have the equation. But I still have a smart way. I'm not going to multiply 500T into 13 and 10 into this. We have a smart way. Have a look. 10 corresponds to 500T, right? What does that mean? 10 corresponds to 500T, that means multiply by 50T. So 13 corresponds to this, that means multiply by 50T, that means this should have been 650T, isn't it? 10 into 50, 500, 13 into 50, 650. Now this part is 150T. Total it has to be 650T, that means this is 500T, isn't it? 500 plus 150, 650. 500T is 1000, that means T is equals to 6 years. So in that way, you actually do the same thing. You are solving the equation. I don't deny it, but in a very smart way, utilizing a little bit of aptitude so that you don't actually have to solve them. You visualize them, just visualizing the equations rather than solving them. And once you reach that level, the calculations become very simple. The answer, 6 years, right? So that was some arithmetic questions that were hard, right? 3 arithmetic hard questions which we have done in the CAT 24 slot 2. Some of you might feel them easy, all right? But given in the exam circumstances, once you have done those 11 easy questions, then you go there, then comes this. Now again, this is algebra hard questions. So why have you written easy? So that you feel them to be easy, right? I never say a question is hard. I have given in the initial slide round 2 questions, that's all. I'll never say a question is hard. We need to learn slowly and slowly. Once we deal with a lot of hard questions, even the harder becomes easier. All right, let's start with the algebra ones. Start with this one, a question in log. I would have graded this an easy question if this second line would not have been there. Although this second line does not make this question difficult, but in the exam circumstances, people tend to skip by these questions, making it less attempted and ultimately becomes automatically hard, right? Because hard is defined by how many numbers of students got this question correct in the exam, right? So pause the video, solve it up. I hope that you have paused the video, tried it on your own. Now, my turn. What we see is that, okay, the base is little mismatched. We have a 10, 100 and 1000, but we know that they are all the parts of 10. They can be handled, right? And we'll handle them, right? Let's try to handle them. We have 4 log x base 10 plus 4 log x base 100. 100 means 10 square. Fantastic. Plus 8 log x 1000. 1000 means 10 cube equals to 13. Fantastic. Now we know that this 2 and this 3 will come behind the log and get reciprocaled. So we have 4 log x base 10 plus this will become half while going back. 4 into half will become 2 log x base 10. This while going back becomes 1 by 3, so this becomes 8 by 3 log x base 10, and that's a 13. So we have 4, 2 and 8 by 3 log x by 10. Everybody has it, so let's simply write down log x by 10. Treat it as a variable which everybody has it. Just add this 4 and 2 6, 3 6 ja 18 plus 8 26 by 3, and then 13 13 1 ja 13 2 ja log x base 10 turns out to be 3 by 2. Simple. The question was quite simple till this point in case you know the log. Now if you don't know the log, that's a problem for us. We need to know the logarithm. Of course, it's a part of our syllabus and a crucial part, I would say. Every slot, every year, we have seen one question on log for sure. Now from here, if we see x, x comes out to be 10 to the power 3 by 2 equals to x. So x equals to 10 to the power 3 by 2, or we can simply say under root of 10 to the power 3, right? This 2 becomes square root. That means a square root of 1000. And if I see it is somewhere between 31 to 32, 31 point something, right? 31 is 961. 32 is 1024. So it will be somewhere around 31.67 or something like that, right? I'm writing 31 point something. Then the greatest integer not exceeding x. So we are looking for an integer that should not exceed x. So we're looking for something which is less than equals to 31, because this is 31 point something. So all the integers, right, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, dot, 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 till 31, they all are not going to exceed 31 point something. So these are all the integers that satisfy, right? What we are looking for? We are not looking for the value of x. No, the question do not ask me x. The question does not ask me x. The question asks me the integer that does not exceed x. These are the integers that does not exceed x. And from all of these, the question asks me the greatest one. So the greatest one of all of them becomes 31. So the answer is 31 is the greatest integer that does not exceed, my boy, 31 point something. 31 is the answer. That's the fourth tough question compared to the 22 questions which we had in slot 1. Time for the fifth question. Time for you to go ahead, try to solve it. Perfect. Hoping that you have paused the video. It's my turn. Let's go. It says if the equation x square plus mx plus 9 equals to 0, x square plus nx plus 17 equals to 0, and x square plus m plus nx plus 35 equals to 0 have a common negative root, then the value of 2m plus 3n is. Okay. So the question is x square plus mx plus 9 equals to 0 has a root, let us say a, another one we don't know, let us say alpha. Fine. Then this equation, that is x square plus nx plus 17, this also has a root, let us say a, because there is one root which is common. Let us say the second root is beta. And then we have a third equation, x square plus m plus nx plus 35 equals to 0 has a root a, because one of the root is common. Let us say the second root of this equation is gamma. Now, of course, you know, when a question is asked on the common root, our main or prime interest is to find out the common root, or maybe try to eliminate it so that we find out the missing terms in the equation itself. Now the point is, let's put a in all of the three equations, because of course we know it's the common root. Let's play with it. Let's see, we'll observe. So putting a here, what I get is a square plus am plus 9 equals to 0. What I get here is a square plus an plus 17 equals to 0. Here I get is a square plus m plus na plus 35 equals to 0. So what I've done is I put the a, since that was a root, must satisfy the equation. Now observe, how can we find out a? Try to eliminate one of the two, either the terms that have a or the terms that have a square, right? Either try to eliminate am, an and m plus n into a, or try to eliminate the a square, so that at least you can find out a, right? If one of them gets eliminated, you will find out a. Now let's have a look at this. We have a am, we have a an, and here we have a am plus an. How can we get rid of it? There is a plan, of course. If I add these two equations, I'll get am plus an, and then I subtract this equation, again I'll get am plus an. So add these two, subtract that one, you will get any expression that will be free of a. In case here it would have been m minus a or m plus 2n, whatever, I would have adjusted this equation in that way. All right. For example, if this would have had m minus n, then I would have done this minus this, then I would have also created m minus n, and then I would have subtracted that. If that would have been m plus 2n, then I would have multiplied 2 over here. This would have become 2n. This would have been m. Then I would have added and subtracted. So that kind of aptitude has to be applied. This time it is quite simple. If I add these two, I'll get 2a square plus am plus an plus 26 equals to 0. That one is a square plus am plus an plus 35 equals to 0. Now if I subtract them, I get a square. This gets cancelled. This gets cancelled. This becomes minus 9 equals to 0. A square comes out to be 9, and eventually a comes out to be plus minus 3. Of course, since the question tells me that they have a common negative root, right? So since they have a common negative root, that means a equals to minus 3 works well for us. Negative root. Superb. Now we know a. Now we need to get 2m plus 3n. Fantastic. We already have these equations which will help us to find m and n. If I put a equals to minus 3 here, I'll get m. If I put a equals to minus 3 here, I'll get n. Let's find it out then. Put here a minus 3 square 9 minus 3m plus 9 equals to 0. Minus 3m equals to minus 18, right? And m comes out to be 6. Fantastic. Nice. Good. Then time to find out n. If I put minus 3 here, that's minus 3 square 9 minus 3n plus 17 equals to 0. 3n turns out to be 26 and n comes out to be 26 by 3, but I'm not interested in that. I needed 3n only. Fine. What is 2m? 2m is 12. What I need to get? 2m plus 3n. 2m plus 3n is 26 plus 12, that's 38. And we are done. Again 4 to 5 lines, right? But some smart approaches. Some observations which we need to do. If we can do that step, the rest is easy. The rest follows automatically. Right? Let's go ahead. Question number 6, a beautiful one, a beautiful traveler over here. Try it on your own before you play the video to see the solution. All right, my turn. Let's have a look. If a plus b root n is the positive square root, very careful with this word, positive square root of this. Okay, let's solve this much, then we'll go and jump to all the things. Of course, a, b are integers, n is a natural number. Okay, that is also a very important thing. right? That means n is not 0. Fantastic. It cannot be negative. It is inside the root, else this becomes undefined or complex number, which we know cat does not, ask us on. Alright, so if this is the square root of this, that means the square of this equals to this, right? So the idea is a plus b root n is the square root of this guy, correct? Let's square it up. Yes, let's square it up. So this square will be equal to this square. This will take away the root. That means we have a square plus b square n plus 2ab root n is equals to 29 minus 12 root. Square takes away the root. Here we have applied a plus b whole square. Now compare, right? Now compare, right? And let's have a look at this one. This guy should be equals to this guy because both of them are the irrational part of our expressions, and this guy, which is the rational part of LHS, should be equals to the rational part of RHS. Fantastic. So what we have is 2ab root n equals to minus 12 root 5, and the other thing which we have is a square plus b square n is equals to 29. Now from here we can see that n equals to 5, right? And what we have, another thing is 2ab equals to minus 12 and ab comes out to be minus 6. Now since they are integers, there are multiple values, 2 into minus 3, minus into 2, 1 into minus 6, minus 6 into 1. Let's see which one will be correct. Have a look at this one. Now since n is 5, we know that a square plus 5b square is 29. Now this actually helps us to find a and b. See this guy b, if it takes 1, this becomes 5. 29 minus 5 becomes 24. 24 is not a perfect square. We need a perfect square. So this cannot be 1. You put it yourself if you can not observe it directly. Put it. 5 goes there, 24. A square is 24. Not possible. Has to be an integer. Let's put 2. 2 square 4. 4 5 are 20. 29 minus 20, 9. Fantastic. A square 9. A comes out to be plus minus 3. If you put 3, 3 square 9 5 are 45, goes there, becomes negative. Not possible. So not going to take much time. If you do the calculations in mind, very basic calculations, you will get that, okay, this guy has to be 2, all right, and ultimately 2 square 4, 20, and then a square becomes 9. So b is plus minus 2, right? And now I don't know plus 2 or minus 2. B comes out to be plus minus 2. A square comes out to be 29 minus 5 4, that's 20 or 9, and in that case a comes out to be plus minus 3. So now we know a, we know b, we know n. That means we can find out this thing. So the square root is, there are now two possibilities. If a is 2, or sorry, b is 2, a has to be minus 3. Product has to be minus 6. So opposite signs. A and b have opposite signs. So there is a possibility, Cn is 5. Now possibility is that if b takes 2, then a takes minus 3. Right? Because product of a and b is negative. And similarly, if n is 5, of course, that is fixed. If b takes minus 3, a takes 2. Product again minus 6. From here, the square root turns out to be minus 3 plus 2 root 5. From here, the square root turns out to be 2 minus 3 root 5. Now the idea is whether we have this as the answer or this as the answer. Now the question is positive square root. Which of the two is positive? 2 minus 3 root 5. That's not positive, right? That's of course not positive. 2 minus 3 root 5. This guy is positive, minus 3 plus 2 root 5. So that means this is the right one. It has to be the answer. So the square root, the positive square root we are looking for is this, minus 3 plus 2 root 5, right? And now comes the catch in the question. Then the maximum possible value of a plus b plus n is. Now we need to maximize the possible value of a plus b plus n. Now a is fixed, but we can play with b and n, right? A is fixed. A is a minus 3. That's fixed. But these guys can be played. What I want is just b to be a integer and n to be a natural number. Or what if I put this 2 inside this square root? This becomes minus 3 plus this becomes 1 because 2 is going inside. Once it goes inside the square root, it becomes squared, and 2 square 4 into 5, that's 1 root 20. Can I not write 2 root 5 as root 20 into 1? What helps me is that now this number becomes very huge, 20, and I can maximize the value of a plus b plus n. So if I rewrite this in this format, now my b becomes 1 and n becomes 20, making a plus b plus n. Here it was very small, 5 2 7 minus 3 4, which of course is there in the trap. But now 21 minus 3, that's 18. This is the answer. That's a trap. It gives you minus 1 after doing every effort correctly, gives you eventually a minus 1. Crazy, isn't it? So it was better to leave this question. That's why it comes in the round 2. 95% of the question correct, but missed this part that we need to maximize a plus b plus n. This 2 can go inside and become square and becomes. See, it's up to me now. Whether I want to keep this 2 outside or inside. I want to maximize, I'll put it here. Right? They're not saying it's the most simplified version. They're simply saying that a and b has to be integer, n has to be a natural number. Done. Yes. Good question. Let's go to the next one. Let's have a look at this one. Crazy question. People see it, leave it, and just move ahead. A quadratic expression with the inequality, and that to 2 inequalities, looks like a question of algebra, but this is not a question of algebra. This is a question of geometry that tests you on the equation of circle. So if you know it, then only see the solution for this one. Otherwise, you can try to understand, but it's difficult to understand. Then you will have to move to the next question directly. You can skip by this question if you don't know the equation of circle, right? So the idea is, the equation of a circle is something like this: x minus a square plus x minus b square equals to r square. This is the equation of a circle. And when I say less than r square, that means I'm interested in the region inside the circle. When I say greater than r square, that means I'm interested in the region outside the circle. That's the game. And this equation tells that the circle has the center at a and b and the radius r. Right? Now, let's go ahead and have a look at this question. I could easily sense that it is an equation of a circle. I need to use the method of completing the square and make this look as an equation of circle. So what I'm just focusing on right now is this part. I'll take care of the rest later. Plus 4x minus 4y. I clubbed the x terms. I clubbed the terms with the variable y. Fine. Just manipulating it. Now I see that this will become ultimately x plus 2 ka whole square. I see that this will become ultimately y minus 2 ka whole square. Right? 4x, half of 4x is 2, so x plus 2 ka whole square. Half of 4y is 2, so y minus 2 ka whole square. What we have given extra? See, x square plus 2 square, that's 4. So we have given 1 4 extra. Okay, remember, we have given 1 4 extra to make this plus 4x. So a square x square, 2ab 4x, we already had it. But an extra 2 square wasn't there, so we have given a 4 extra to this term. We'll keep that in mind. Here, a square y square minus 2ab is minus 4y, we had it, plus b square, that's 2 square 4. So another 4 we have given extra. We have given an additional 8 to this central term, right? So once we have given 8 to this central term, we'll give it to all the sides. 8 given to this becomes 8, all right? 8 given to this to make it a perfect square. 8 give it, we'll give 8 here as well. 8 given to this will make it a 4. So this is what we have. Now time to draw the graph for this. Okay. Forget about this one, just have a look at this one. This looks like x plus a whole square plus y plus b whole square less than equals to r square. Less than, that means inside a circle we are talking about. Center of the circle being minus 2 and 2. Remember, x plus 2 equals to 0, you get x is minus 2. Y minus 2 equals to 0, y equals to 2. That's how you get the center. Right? I'll write it down for you over here. X minus a square plus y minus b square less than equals to r square, equation of the circle, center a comma b, radius r. So this represents a circle, center at minus 2, comma 2, and the radius, if I convert it into r square, so that simply means this 8 is my r square. So whatever be the radius, root 8, I don't care. Right, we'll see it later. R square for this circle is 8. So let's write it down. This has a radius of root 8. Fantastic. You're talking about the area inside this. Now let's have a look at this. Forget about this part. Now this becomes x minus a ka whole square plus y minus b ka whole square is greater than r square. So outside the circle this, and this circle has a radius of 2 because r square is 4. So radius of 2, but the center is same. So concentric circles. Radius 2, this is 8, this is 4, r square 4, r square 8. So this is a circle inside the bigger circle, right? This has r equals to root 8, r square is 8. This circle has r square as 4. So this circle is a smaller circle compared to the previous circle because this has a r of 2, right? So we are talking about the area outside this radius, inside this radius. So this area we are talking about so far. So inequality represents this area, which we can easily find out because we have the radius, all right? Also, y is greater than or equals to x plus 4, another equation we are given. So we are interested in finding out a line which follows this. So the idea to draw this particular graph is draw the line y equals to x plus 4 first. And then this will represent the area either above the line or below the line. We'll see it later. So this line, if we go ahead with, now see, cat does not give you a random question. Cat does not give you a random line. This line has to do something with that. Now the point is about observing the right things. You only have one point lying over there. Just check, does that point satisfy this line? It 100% will. Otherwise, the question will not make any sense. You have given me a concentric circle. You could have asked me this area itself. I could have done pi r square minus pi r square. You are introducing another line. This line has to do something with that figure. See, put those points minus 2 comma 2. Let's try. Y becomes 2 minus 2 plus 4. It satisfies 2 equals to 2. That means whatever is a line, it passes through this. And if it passes through this, that's the center of the circle. It's going to divide the area into half. Now I don't care whether you wish to calculate this area, right, or you wish to calculate this area. So I'm not at all interested. Ultimately, it's half of the shaded area. Whether this side or this side doesn't matter. So if we calculate the entire shaded area, that is pi r square bigger circle minus pi r smaller circle square. We know bigger circle's r square was 8. Smaller circle r square was 4. So pi into 8, pi into 4, that's 4 pi. And we are interested in half of that. That means 2 pi is the answer. B for Bathla. Now this side or this side, you will have to draw the exact figure on the coordinate plane, but not required. Right? That's it. That's how he played with us. Right? Question looks like from inequality. I also put it in algebra, but it is a geometry question, right? From the student's perspective, right? A tough one. I would say the most difficult of the CAT 2024 slot one, the brutal question must have to be left. Let's go ahead. Let's have a look at this one. This is a modern math PNC question, but looks like an algebra again. Right? Looks like an algebra question, but it is a modern math PNC question. Consider two sets A and B. Let f be a function from A to B. All right. So we have a set A, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 and 13. We have a set B, that's 1, 8 and 27. We need to define a function from A to B such that for every element of B, in B there is at least one element of A in such f of A equals to B, right? So every element of this has to be mapped from A, right? Now, since we know whenever we try to make a function, every element of A has to be linked to some of the element of B, right? So first let's make it a function. 2 will have 3 possibility, go here or go here. 3 will have 3 possibility, go here or go here. So every one of them, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will have 3 possibilities, right? So let us say this is the element which we are mapping to 2. 3 possibilities, 1, 8 or 27. This is the element we are mapping to 3. Again 3 possibilities, 1, 8 and 27. This is for 5, this is for 7, this is for 11, this is for 13. 3 possibilities, 3 possibilities, 3 possibilities, 3 possibilities, 3 possibilities, 3 possibilities. Ultimately, you have 3 to the power 6 or 729 possible functions. All right. 729 possible functions exist. Now, I'm not asking you or saying you that these functions, these kind of functions. Total 729 of functions are possible because 2 has to be mapped with one of the 3, 3 has to be mapped with one of the 3, 5 has to be mapped with one of the 3, same for 7, same for 11, same for 30. 729 possibilities in total, but there is a problem. If I go with this way, there is a possibility that 2 got mapped with 1, 3 got mapped with 8, this got with 1, 8, 1 and 8 and 27 was left behind. Now in this case, nobody got mapped with 27. That is what we don't want. Because the question clearly states that there is at least one element in A such that f of A equals to B. Right? You want to exhaust B. Every element of B in B is occupied or mapped. So I need to remove these cases. So let's try to find out those cases when either all the elements of A got mapped with only one element in B or all the elements in A got mapped with two of this. So first calculate when they got mapped with only one, right? So now we are removing the case like this 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Let us say all got mapped with 1. So these kind of cases are not required when all of them got mapped with 1. And such kind of cases we will have 3 when all got mapped with 1, all got mapped with 8 and all got mapped with 27. So these 3 cases needs to be eliminated. 729 minus 729 minus 3. So we already have 726 cases left. All right. Now we need to eliminate when we had the situation like this. 2 of them got mapped, right? So let us say we have elements A, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. Here we have 1, 8 and 27. We need to eliminate the cases like this. Some of them getting mapped with A, 1, some of them getting mapped with 8 and one of them left behind. No element in A was given to 27. Such kind of areas we don't require. So how many such possibilities? Again a PNC question. This has 2 possibility 1 and 8. This has 2 possibility 1 and 8. This has 2 possibility 1 and 8 because we have left behind 27. We don't want anyone to give 27 or anyone to get 27. So 2 possibilities, 2 possibility 2, 2, 2 and 2. So like here we had 3 to the power 6. These will be 2 to the power 6 minus those cases when all of them got mapped to 1, right? Because these are the cases which have 2 of them included. So there will be the case when all get attached to 1 again. That we are not interested in, right? We are interested in those areas when A was mapped to 2 elements in B, all right? So these are the total cases minus those 2 cases when all of them got mapped to 1 again. We are not going to recount them. We already counted them here. So 2 to the power 6 minus 2, that's 32, sorry, 64 minus 2, that's 62 cases. But in total, these will be 62 into 3C2 or 3, that's 186 cases. Sir, why? Because we are counting all those cases when all the elements of A got mapped with two elements of B. Now, these two elements could have been 1, 8, which I have drawn in the figure. These could have been all elements got mapped to 127. All elements got mapped to 8 and 27. So in the way I have calculated 1 and 8, similarly I had calculated this and this. So 1, 2, 3, 3 into 62, 186 cases, I reject these as well. So in these kind of arrangements, elements of A got mapped to exactly two elements of B. In these three cases, elements of A got mapped to exactly one element of B. Here we had all the scenarios. Once I subtract one element and two element mapping, I'll be left with three element mapping. That's what the question is asking. So 729 minus 3, 726 already. Final 726 minus 186. How much? I guess it has to end in 0. 540 is the answer then. That's the answer. So this one is a difficult question again. PNC mapping of functions, right? All the possibilities, subtracting when they got mapped to 1, subtracting when they got mapped to 2. Got it? Perfect. Let's go ahead. Question number 9, a beautiful one. Completing the square again, right? If you observe it, it's an easy one. If you don't observe, it's a difficult one. X, Y, and Z be real numbers satisfying this, then A equals. Now the point is, you have given me A. Let's put the value of A from here. This equation becomes 4x minus 4y minus 4z equals to 3 plus 4x square plus 4y square plus 4z square. Of course, observe, we have a 4x square, that is 2x ka whole square. Here we have a 4x. Try to make a perfect square again. See, if I club everything over here, let's see what happens. You have a 4x square. Give the 4x becomes minus 4x. Clubbing the same kind of variables, that is something which is required from my end, right? Plus 4y square plus ka 4y plus 4z square minus or plus ka 4z plus 3 equals to 0. Now have a look. This is 2x ka whole square. This is 2 into 2x. What it requires is a 1. If it gets a 1, now this is a square. Minus 2ab becomes this. I just need to give him a 1 square. Have a look what it is becoming. A square minus 2ab plus b square. That means it is a minus b whole square. This quantity can become this. All it needs it an additional 1 square. Which I don't care. I'll give 1 from here. This will become 2. 1 goes here. Similarly, have a look at this guy. This is 2y ka whole square plus 2 into 2y into 1. What it just needs a 1 square to become 2y plus 1 ka whole square. And don't worry, you can get this one easily from here. And now look at this. What it becomes? 2z whole square plus 2 into 2z, 1. Ultimately, it is 2z plus 1 ka whole square equals to 0. That's what it is written. Even parts summing up to 0. What do you get? Each of them individually is 0. That means x comes out to be half, y comes out to be minus half, z comes out to be minus half. You can get the value of A. Done. So A comes out to be 4 times half square, that's 1 by 4, minus half square, that's 1 by 4. This is also 1 by 4. 4 into 3 by 4, and ultimately a 3. So a tough question, of course, right? A series of tough questions, right? Must have opened up your mind quite a lot today. Getting difficult for you, I would advise watch it in 2 parts. But try to have a hand on all such difficult questions as well. Will be very, very handy, right? Let's jump to question number 10. Another beautiful question, right? Shop wants to sell a certain quantity of grains. Pause it. try it on your own and then I'll solve. We have seen this kind of questions also multiple times. Standard pattern. Alright, so do you see what happens? A person gives half and then some additional, then half, then some additional. Try to observe it. And let us suppose you had 20 apples, alright? Go in the reverse. But how to go in the reverse? Let's learn. Suppose you gave half of the apples. That means you gave 10 apples. Now you're left with 10 apples. And let us say you gave additional 3 apples. That's what happening. Half and then additional 3. So you gave 3 more. And now you're left with 7 apples, right? So what happens is, these were your initial apples. And these are your final apples after giving a guy in the middle. You gave half and then 3, right? Suppose you're going to a guy with 20 apples in the hand. You gave half and then additional 3. Now you come out with these apples in your hand, right? Of course, you can do this question by the option as well, but you need to understand because sometimes it can be a theta as well, right? So see, what happens after you meet a guy and give him some certain apples and go pass by him? What happens? Have a look. You give, suppose you enter with the 20. You gave him half, 10, additional 3, you're left with 7. So you went in with 20, came out with 7. Now my question is, how can you go from 7 to 20? Think. If you can go, that means you know how to go from back to top or bottom to top. That is what we know. We need to know. Top to bottom becomes very critical. Equation, so many. Bottom to top, calculate how to go. 20 apples you went in, gave half, 10, then 3 extra, you're now with 7. Tell me, how can you go from 7 to 20? Let's make it entirely opposite. What we are doing here, we are dividing it by 2, then subtracting 3. So how to go back? Add 3 and then multiply by 2. Think, if I want to just back trace it, I'll get my 3 apples back and I'll reach to 10. Then I'll multiply it by 2 and I'll know that, okay, I came with 20, isn't it? So if I am able to find out the bottommost, it's easy for me to go to top, isn't it? Right? Now, what happens after meeting the third person, right? Let us say this is the third person. Let's try to find out. The person enters from here to here to third person. First he gave him half. Let us say this was 2x. He gave half the apples. That means he is now left with x. Then he gave 3 more. That means he is now left with x minus 3. That's what's happening. Before meeting the third person, let us say he had 2x. Because we need to do half, I am assuming this to be 2x. He met the third person, gave him a half. That means he is left with x. Gave 3 more, he is left with x minus 3. And what we know is that after meeting the third person, he has nothing in his hand. No grains left. So that means this which he has finally in hand is 0. Nothing. He is reaching the third person with 2x, gave him half, becomes x, gave him 3 more, he is left with x minus 3, which is nothing as per the question. X comes out to be 3. That means before meeting the third person, the guy had 6. 2x, 6. So this is before meeting the third person. Now, let us say here we have second person. How much will he have before meeting the second person? Now we know how to backtrack. 6 plus 3, 9. 9 into 2, 18. He must have had 18 before meeting the second person. Backtracking. Plus 3 multiply by 2. Instead of doing it half and then subtracting, add and multiply. We can also test it. 18, half of 18, he gave 9, left with 9. Gave 3 more, he is left with 6. Now try it on your own. How much we'll have before giving something to first person in the midway? 18 plus 3, 21 into 2, 42. He must have had 42 plus 3 into 2 plus 3 into 2. 42 is the right answer, D for Delhi. You can check as well. 42 half, 21 given, 21 left, gave 3 extra, left with 18. Half of 18, 9, 9 given 3 extra, left with 6. Half, 3 given 3 extra, left with 0. That's it. Entered with 42, gave the first person, came out with 18. Gave the second person, came out with 6. Gave the third person, came out with 0. That's it. That's the story, right? but you should know how to backtrack in these questions. That becomes easier, right? Got it? Let's jump to the final difficult question. Number system looks very scary, but is eventually very simple if you know one little thing which is generally taught in the classes. Says the sum of all 4-digit numbers that can be formed with distinct non-zero digits A, B, C and D, with each digit appearing exactly once in every number is 153310 plus n, where n is a single digit natural number, then this is. Sum of all the 4-digit numbers which have distinct digits. What is the formula for that? Sum of the digits multiply by, these are 4 digits. So less than 1, 4 less than 1 less than 4 is 3. So 3 factorial. Number of digits minus 1, that's 3 factorial. They were 4 digits, so 4 times 1, that's the sum of the numbers. This is a concept which we learn in PNC. Sum of the digits. If it is n, then it is n minus 1 factorial, 4 times digit, 4 times 1, because we had 4 digits, right? So if you have n digits multiplied by n minus 1 factorial, multiply it by 1, and that has to be n times. This is the sum of the digits formula. Sum of the digits, n minus 1 factorial, 1 for n times. And this, we know, sum of the digits is given to us is 153310 plus n, where n is a single digit natural number. Think, if I have 153310 and you are adding n to this, which is a single digit, so 0 plus n is n, 13351, isn't it? So basically you're just making it a little complicated. So that means this number is 15331n. Simple or not? That's your number. If this is 5, this would have been 153315. If this is 6, 153316. Fantastic. Now you need to find out a plus b plus c d plus d plus n. A plus b plus c plus d, I'll find out directly. Let me just call this guy as x. So you are asking me to find out x plus n, isn't it? And here this equation becomes x into 3 factorial into 1111 equals to 15331n. If we call a plus b plus c plus d as n, x I can straight away find out from this equation if you just give me n. Now the interesting part is to find out n. The point is divisibility test. The question is based on divisibility. This is definitely divisible by 11. So this also has to be divisible by 11. Ultimately LHS equals to RHS. They are the same number. This number goes by 11. This also has to go by 11. So let's apply the divisibility test of 11. 1 plus 3, 4. 4 plus 1, 5. 1 plus 3, 4. 4 plus 1, 5. 5 plus 3, 8. 8 plus n. The difference has to be divisible by 11. So that means the difference has to be 11 because this is a single digit. So this has to be 16. So n is 8. If n turns out to be 8, this becomes 16. 16 minus 5, 11. So that means, guys, the n is 8. We have found out. We need to find out x plus 8. N has been known. So x into 3 factorial 6. 1111 equals to 153318. Here is the equation. Get the value of x. Or that means a plus b plus c plus d. Gone. Simple now. Let's solve it up. Let's cancel it by 11 only. 101. 11 1 ja 43. 3 ja 33. That's 103. 9 ja 41. 3 and 8. Fantastic. Let's cancel it about 6. 2 ja 119. 3 ja 13. 13. 2 ja 2323. 101. 23 ja x comes out to be 23. Fantastic. So that means a plus b plus c plus d is 23. This is 23 plus 8. That's 31. And here we have done the slot 1 of CAT 2024 right before the exam. Very helpful. You know the 11 questions that were supposed to be done. You know the 11 questions that were not supposed to be done. Have a look at the gap between the time which I took to solve them. That video was 45 minutes. This video is 1 hour and 4 minutes. That did have some kind of introduction as well, how many questions and all that. So that is 40 minutes. This is 1 hour 4 minutes. So what matters is the time. I hope you understood why we say that you have to be selective. You might be knowing all 22 questions. You might be able to solve all 22 questions. but it's not just about solving the questions, it's also about the time. I hope you understand it. If you want me to do a similar kind of videos for slot 2 and 3 as well, let me know. I'll try to create it before the exam, and keep watching, keep learning. In the last minute, the last month, these kind of videos do help a lot. You get an idea, you get a feel, and how to get a better feel, the real cash questions. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.